Hello, hello, blissful parents. Michelle Abraham, your host here. And have I got an awesome guest for you today? I know I feel like I say that all the time, but I really, really, really always mean it. And especially today, I've gotten the honor of and privilege of meeting this guest in person at a mastermind we attend. And she is a fabulous, fabulous person. And she's got a really cool story that I want to share with you, which I can relate to so much. So I just want to introduce you to Kathy. We'll say hi to Kathy first, and then I'll introduce you to Kathy Farley a little bit further after we say hi. How you doing, Kathy?
I'm doing great, Michelle. Hello to your audience, and thank you for having me today.
You are so welcome. I've been excited about this interview since we planned it a few weeks ago, or I guess it's a few months ago now, even. It's been a while, but we were excited about it because, your background, well, you're an educational consultant and you're a speaker, and you've been dubbed Miss Camp, which I absolutely love because I'm a big, huge fan of summer camps and camps. And you work in your experiential education field at an environmental outdoor education school. Now, for our blissful parents that don't know, my background in college education is outdoor recreation. So this is why we are like two peas in a pod. And I love, love,
Yes.
love this so much. So you began your journey as a single mom, and you were kind of given the opportunity to work
Mhm.
at this outdoor education place. And learn like this hands-on thing. And then you eventually bought the business, which I think I'm going to let you tell this story, but I think it's super fascinating. And fast forward to today, you've written a book called Crushing It, which is powerful principles for young leaders. And you've gone on to have over 350,000 students from all over Southern California at your program. And you've been creating like amazing
Yeah,
experiences and lifelong adventures with them, and you've spoken in front of thousands of people. So I
yeah.
just love that this direction you've gone, and it's super cool. So let's just like rewind a little bit, dive us back into this like 1993. You're a single mom, and
Crazy time. I fell into the position, and I will tell you that the first week that I got the job, I was over the moon excited. And I saw these kids interacting with these young adults, and I was watching as they transformed over a period of 5 days. And the community, the sense of community, the changes in the students it was night and day from Monday, my first day, to their last day on Friday. I watched as these students grew and changed with these young adult leaders, and it blew my mind. It was insanely cool. So, and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the process and the program.
I love that so much. And when you told me that first time that we met, I was like, I can totally relate to that. I was we had something called outdoor school where we lived. And I went to it, a couple times in elementary school, had amazing experiences, went back in high school to be
Mhm.
a leader. And I remember the first group I had was this like so-called troubled school with like really like inner city kids. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a tough week. And it sure was. They came in like kicking and screaming and calling us the F bombs and all this to like the end of the week. We love you, and hugs. And like, this was the best like
Yes.
experience ever. I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I think that helped me go on to get my degree in outdoor recreation too. So sorry to interject that there, but I just wanted to share like that was similar to what I witnessed as well. It's so cool.
It's life changing, and I'll tell you, within the first couple months, I felt like I really fit in. This was my kind of job, my kind of place. It was helping kids. There was a student who got off the bus in a leather jacket, and he had attitude all over him, just like the girls you're talking about. And we were warned about him as far as the leadership. They were told, you know, this is his history. Well, that black jacket was taken off by Thursday night at skit night. That kid sat there and played a guitar song for all the camp to sing along. And by Friday, he was in tears because he was going home. And he had just dropped that facade and he'd become a kid. And it was so magical. And it's to think that is possible. I was sold. This was my destiny. And it was just amazing.
Wow. So that's so cool. Now here you are working and getting to witness all of this. And then how did you end up becoming the owner of this huge summer camp in Southern California? As a single
Well,
mom, let's just put that in there too.
right. The beauty of the program is because it's an outdoor science school, we had fifth and sixth and seventh and eighth graders come September through June. So it's a regular school year.
Mm.
And so I would have my kids in school and be on break the same time as my camp would be on break. The owners hit a point after I'd been there about 5 years and decided they were done and they were ready to pass the baton. And I was like, I don't have any money, but how can I do this? And I found a way and I was able to buy it and run it, learn everything there was to know about Business 101 Fast Track. And I had done every job, every position at the camp prior to ever saying I want to buy it. And I never saw myself as a business owner, but I saw there was a purpose and value in what was happening at this ranch. And because of that, I was able to persevere and I found the money and it was off and running. It was amazing.
Wow. Well, clearly it was in alignment. Like if the money found its way to you magically,
Yes.
you like said yes, this opportunity. Now you have this huge camp that has an amazing reputation and you just took it to the next level. To walk us through like how many years did you stay there? What was that like?
Well, when I bought it, we had no camp. The previous owners had let the other property go into foreclosure. So I started out as a transient camper. We would lease properties all over the Southern California mountains, San Bernardino Mountains, as far as logistics. And so from there, I started looking for a permanent home. And a camp facility came up 5 years after I had originally bought it. And from there, we had another camp that we'd been using for years. So from there, we flourished. And I watched this business thrive. And we became the #1 outdoor education program in Southern California. And it was just amazing.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That's like a huge feat to like be able to like take something over from a previous owner and keep it running and actually grow it
Yes.
far beyond where it was before. So that's really cool. And now we're having a conversation about camps and, we are sitting in a situation where just now camps are starting to be open again, but over the last couple of years, they've all been closed. And I know that's been like detrimental for so many of those businesses. And I'm hoping that they will still reopen and can still flourish again in the future. But why, in your opinion, having spent so much time in this space, why is it so important for the camps to be there for kids?
Oh, man. One of the biggest things is it promotes self-esteem and they learn a sense of community. They learn a sense of commitment, connection, which is so lacking these days, that connectivity with one another. As well as their confidence just booms. The things that they were afraid of when they stepped off the bus on Monday is no longer a fear by Friday. I used to tell the parents when I would go down to the schools and I would explain what's going to happen at camp. I would tell them, you're going to be really happy your kids are gone and you're going to be crying by Thursday, Friday when they're going to be coming home because you miss them so much. They're going to miss you on Monday, Tuesday and cry. But by Friday, they're not going to want to come back because they're having such a great time. And to have that kind of a transition is due to the kids being able to get out there and really make some decisions and work within the community of each other. I'll tell you, this happen weekly. There was a story to share. There was a student who was in a wheelchair and his dad came up. We did not allow any parents, no electronic devices. It was us and we would care for the kids. This special case because of the student in a wheelchair. What happened with him was we had a hike called Kilimanjaro and it's a very long hike and it's an archaeological hike. So there's a lot of boulders and rocks along the way. And the students carried that young man all the way up to the top. And the dad, he had pictures and he documented the whole experience for his son. And magic like that happened all the time. And the experience is, it is the first step in becoming a powerful leader, independent, as well as the learning. I was just reading that kids who go without any technology for 5 days have the ability to have more facial recognition and share emotion than students who are hooked into all their tech. Wow. So it's vital. It's a vital thing to get our kids back into the world, the natural world, and expand their minds with each other and learn how to communicate.
Yeah, and that's that connection to nature, connection to
yes.
each other, those games. Like, like I remember going to camp. We went a couple times, twice in elementary school, 3 times in elementary school. Then I went back as many times as I could in high school as a leader. But I also was going to Girl Guide camp as well. And I remember every time I go to camp, it was just like amazing experience. And I'd come home and I'd be like, I just love that experience so much. Like, it's no wonder I went in the path I did, because it was just, I worked in an outdoor education center, just similar to like your camp.
Yeah.
For many years, because I just wanted to be a part of that experience for other kids that I experienced. And like that transformation now is even more so and vital than it was back when we were kids, because now they have this device in front of their face all the time, and pulling them outside to do something. I feel like my son's 10, and sometimes I get worried because he's lost interest in a lot of other things because of this device, right? It's like, no, you gotta go outside, you gotta do all these things. And so I'm just really hoping that the camps stay around and keep open and keep growing and nurturing these leaders, these young leaders, as they get older. And so it's grateful for you to be helping these young adult leaders, become like, I can imagine like how successful they are in life because they've learned these skills.
I'll tell you, the UCLA actually did a study on 6th graders, and it was proven for some reason, this age group specifically, students without all the tech involved in their lives are better off in their future lives. They are able to connect and remain grounded, where the kids that get thrown off track they don't know how to get there. It's harder.
Yeah, you lose some of those skills. I remember I was working for a whitewater rafting company years ago, and I was hiring 15-year-olds, or I guess they were a little bit older, 16 or 17-year-olds to answer the phone for us. And it was like, they couldn't even they were petrified to pick up the phone and talk to someone else. Pick up the damn phone. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yes.
I'm like, how come you don't know how to answer a phone? Like, is that a skill that was lost somewhere?
Yes. I had to train not just the staff who answers phones, but I trained the leaders who were the role models and leaders for our students. Right. So there is, I think, another benefit is getting back to basics is all of it is hands-on. So the kids would write in their journals after they would get off a hike, and they had to be creative. They had to remember, and they had to work as a team. I'll tell you what, you were talking about something that reminded me about the kids setting tables. If we had a school of 300 students, we'd have 20 kids from 2 cabin groups come in, set tables, and clean up after the students. And everyone shared in the responsibility. And again, it's that sense of community. It's that sense of responsibility, accountability.
Yeah. And I know you have birds, and they are totally in agreement with you because they're just
yes, they are.
You're like, yes, Kathy, yes, what you're saying. It's so important. What kind of birds do you have?
Cockatiels. Cockatiels. This is their ecosystem. It's the funniest thing. It's like with my dogs. I get excited and they start to get this higher, oh, something great is happening. So
Something exciting is happening. They can hear my excitement and their excitement. So, and your excitement, and they're just all fired up about camp.
they are. They are.
Were they at camp with you at some point in their lives?
No, no, they've always had this room, this space is theirs. It's committed for only them.
That's fun. I love it. So tell us a little bit about, like, now you've transitioned out of the camp and you're speaking all over the place. Hundreds, thousands of people you're speaking in front of. You've written this book, Crushing It. Tell us a little bit about the book and your speaking and what you're up to these days.
Well, I have, from what I learned, and in all of the training that I did with the students as well as the leaders that I hired, I saw greatness happen for all of the leaders that I had actually worked with. And I thought, no one is inspiring these kids to be leaders. And I thought, I can take everything that I taught to these 18 to 26-year-olds, and I can put that in a book, and I can show them that while to them it may be scary, it's worth the ride. And there's so much opportunity for those who have that little taste of leadership, no matter how big or small, that they've taken it on. They've learned how to work with people. They've learned how to deal with conflict. They've learned how to deal with the ins and outs of leadership, where you're dealing with other human beings. And so I've put that in a book in a way that it's your A to Z for young adult leadership on how to get there, and all the pitfalls and the roadblocks that could happen. Here's what you do. It's the just in cases. And what I'm getting to do is see the change and the transformation, that they don't feel hopeless and they don't feel disconnected. They are getting reconnected, and they are using some of the tools in the book in order to set the stage for their future job, for their future goal or goals. And in the book, I talk about how important it is that we self-motivate and we keep our vibration high, because we're going to come across a lot of people in our lives. And the more experiences we have, the stronger we become. And we can take on the hard stuff, and it's a lot easier. So with the book, that is my mission. And I am hoping that, it's just like when I owned the Outdoor Science School, the purpose was touch one life. And it is the same today. It's touch a life, help growth, and help change and promote it in a safe way. And I'm loving it. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. So where do you do most of this, like, work with the youth? Like, they're in a program with you, you're in the schools, you're in the environment with them. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to just, like, take them to camp to teach them this stuff?
Yes.
That's so good, right?
Yes. So in 2024, I am creating a leadership boot camp, which will go for a 3-day period over the summer. I'm probably going to do 4 separate ones. I haven't put the program together yet, but I know what I'm going to do. But for right now, what I'm doing is I'm going to the local high schools in Southern California, which is hundreds of schools, hundreds of thousands of schools. And then on top of that, I have colleges and universities that are in the general vicinity. And I have a few coming up where I will be flying up north and flying down south, and then across the United States in some cities that I'm talking with. So it's just get the message out there and get that confidence building and that sense of self, that it's not about what's going on out there. It's about what's going on in here. And we get to do that as adults. We get to give this gift to our kids, and kids we don't even know. We get to help and grow this new generation. And to me, it's just about the best thing I've ever done, besides having my 2 sons. I love it.
I love it. Well, I can tell you're super passionate about that, and I can tell your birds are super passionate about it too, because I'm really excited for you. And so that's awesome. Our audience listening today, like, I'm sure they're at home thinking, like, how can I find your book? Where do we find out more information about what you're up to? How do we get our kids to those 3-day leadership boot camps? all that information, where can we keep in touch with you and support your book and everything?
I'm at kathyfarley.net, and my website or my email is kathy@kathyfarley.net. I welcome any questions, anything. And my book will be out in, by the end of April. And I will also be speaking, and I will have a calendar on my speaking engagements. If people are interested in talking to me about coming to their schools, just hit me up on kathy@kathyfarley.net. I will be happy to see what we can do.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, no problem. Anything you want to share with our parents before I let you go?
I just appreciate the time and getting to talk about it. And, we are the leaders now, and we are responsible to grow the up and coming leaders. And it's so important. It's our mission, and it's a gift that we get to give to our future generation.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Kathy, for being here with us today. I appreciate you so much. And blissful parents, go out there and remember that you are raising the future generation of leaders at your home.
Yes.
And if you need some support with that, reach out to Kathy. If you want to hear her speak or grab her book, please do so. And we'll connect all that in the show notes. Go out there and have a fabulous week, blissful parents. Thank you again, Kathy.
Thank you. And thank you, blissful parents. Have a great day.
Awesome. Take care, everyone. See you next week.
Bye-bye.